Okay, guys, so today what we're going to look at, or what we're going to do is realize that I can't factor everything. It's hard for me to factor this. I could try to factor this using the greatest common factor, and they don't have one, or I could factor by grouping, and this doesn't factor properly. So sometimes we have to identify what possible zeros are. And there's going to be lots of ways that we're going to do this, but in this case, I know that x plus 6 goes into this quantity perfectly. So what I want to do is I want to use a long division to do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to have x plus 6 going into x cubed plus 7x squared plus 4x minus 12. So what I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at this x and this x cubed and ask myself, what do I have to multiply x by to make it x cubed? And then I realize, well, if I take x times x squared, I get x cubed. So I'm really taking x cubed and dividing it by x, taking this term and dividing it by that term. And then what we're going to do is always multiply the top row times the binomial that we're dividing into this. So I'm going to take x squared times x, so I get x cubed. X squared times 6 is 6x squared. Then I'm going to subtract them. I'm going to subtract these two terms by these two terms. So x cubed minus x cubed is 0. 7x squared minus 6x squared is 1x squared. And I'm going to bring down the 4x. Because I have two terms here, I want to bring two terms down here. Now, I'm looking at x squared and x. What do I have to take x squared by? What do I have to multiply x by to get x squared? And that would be x. So I'm going to add a plus x up here. Then I'm going to multiply the plus x times both of these terms. So I get x squared plus 6x. And I'm subtracting. X squared minus x squared is 0. 4 minus 6 is negative 2x. Then I'm going to bring down the minus 12. Okay? So now I'm repeating the process. X times what gets me negative 2x? And that would be a minus 2. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x minus 12. And if I subtract all these, I would get 0. So right now, I know that x plus 6 times x squared plus x minus 12. If I were to look at these, if I were to multiply these two quantities, I would get this. Now, does this quantity factor out more? Yeah, that factors out to be x plus, that should be a 2. X plus 2x minus 1. So your fully factored out form is x plus 6 times x plus 2 times x minus 1. Okay? Let's look at another one. So this time we're taking 2x minus 4 into this. Okay. And we're just going to repeat the process. So we're going to take 2x times what gets me 6x cubed, or 6x cubed divided by 2x gets me 3x squared. Then multiply 3x squared by both of those. So I get 6x cubed minus 12x squared So when I subtract those, I have 10x squared minus 16x. And then what's 10x squared divided by 2x? That's a plus 5x. So 5x times 2x is 10x squared. 5x times negative 4 is negative 20x. So we're subtracting those. So I have 4x minus 8. 2 times what gets me 4? That's a 2. So 2 times 2x is 4x minus 8. And I do not have a remainder so I have a remainder of 0. So right now my factored form is 2x minus 4 times 3x squared plus 5x plus 2. And I know that a 2 goes into both of those, so I can do 2 times x minus 2. And then this factors out to be 3x plus 2 x plus 1. The next one, number 15, is similar to this, so you guys can try that. I want to go over one other one with you guys. And it's something that will have a non-zero remainder. So we're going to do the same thing. 2x minus 3 is going into 8x cubed minus 18x squared plus 21x minus 20. So remember, we're taking this times what gets me 8x cubed, which is 4x squared, then distribute it through. So I got 8x cubed minus 12x squared. And when I do that, I get negative 6x squared plus 21x. Then I take 2x times what gets me negative 6x squared. So I'm taking negative 6x squared divided by 2x. Looks like that's a negative 3x. Negative 3x times 2x is negative 6x squared plus 9x, which leaves me 12x minus 20. And then I'm taking 2 times what gets me 12, which is 6. So 6 times 2 is 12x minus 18. Because remember, we're taking the 6 times both of those terms. And when I do that, those two cancel. Negative 20 minus 18 is negative 2. So it looks like I have a remainder of negative 2. So my answer would be 4x squared minus 3x plus 6 plus negative 2 over 2x minus 3. So I'm taking the remainder and putting it over what I'm dividing everything by. So I want you guys to try number 17, and we will talk about it the next time we meet.